Hey, what's up guys? It's Leif here and welcome to a new video on the Team Gullit channel. In this video I will explain you everything you need to know about defending, and mostly I will explain you the meta defending wise. We are always talking about the meta going forward, how to score goals, but on this game 9 out of 10 times people are struggling with defending. So I'm gonna try to talk about the most important topics when it comes to defending, some glitches maybe when it comes to defending, and just in general the things where you have to focus on when you are defending. So let's just jump into the first thing we are going to talk about. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a new glitch invented since maybe a few weeks. We saw Johnny win the Champions League with it. It's the 100 depth going into your tactics. So the examples you guys will see now is that once your opponent reaches your box or maybe like the byline and he goes back, every single time your defense will step up, like do an offside trap, but by themselves. You don't need to do it manually. Same goes for when you are like higher up on the pitch. The press going on just because of the 100 depth. The press the AI puts on your opponent is so different compared to when you play maybe a 60 of a 56 or a 70 depth. It's just insane what it does actually. It has been invented recently for like 8 or 9 months. Nobody used it. Now almost every single pro player is using it, and that's just because it's so overpowered. I really recommend you guys trying this out because it can help you a lot in defense. Me personally, I think like offside traps are like one of the biggest parts when it comes to defending, because you don't want your opponent to reach your box. And like manual offside traps are basically the same as the 100 depth, although now the AI does it. So you don't need to time them yourself. The AI will do it, and it will be so hard for your opponent to reach your box, which obviously 1 + 1 is 2, makes it hard for him to attack, and that's what we want. The second topic we're going to talk about is the jockey. You have two different ways of jockeying. We all have the feeling sometimes we are like on ice skates when we're defending. We just run past the opponent. The first thing you need to keep in mind, if you don't do it yet, you have to use the jockey. You perform the regular jockey just by holding L2 whilst defending. Then you just like take care, wait for the right timing to get a tackle in. And you have the sprint jockey. 9 out of 10 times I use the sprint jockey because your defenders are way more agile once performing the sprint jockey. But in some scenarios, the normal jockey will do the job as well. But using the jockey, so either the L2 or the L2R2, makes so much difference than when you are not using this and just running with R2 or just walking and trying to make a tackle, because your players will not always face your opponent. Like when you're not using the jockey, your players will be sidewards and trying to make a tackle. And when you use the jockey, they will 9 out of 10 times, or if the game responds right 10 out of 10 times, will face your opponent, and then it's obviously way easier to make a tackle. You can basically use the sprint jockey everywhere on the pitch, and the regular jockey I would recommend it more like inside the box when you really need to read and don't want to take too many risks. And the sprint jockey basically everywhere, like just to stay in front of your opponent, maybe go for interception or tackle. The sprint jockey is perfect for that, and something you really need to learn if you don't do it yet. It isn't even tough. It's just the controls as I just mentioned. L2 for the regular jockey and L2 plus R2, which is called the sprint jockey for the sprint jockey, as it says. If you don't use this yet, make sure to do it. You saw some examples just right now. It is really easy and it benefits you so much. Then number 3, we've talked about this, the 100 depth, but if you don't like the 100 depth, there's another option, which is the offside traps to be a good defender. Then you need to do it manually. Me personally, I really like to do it manually as well. Sometimes I play the 100 depth, sometimes I don't, and when I don't, I need to make use of the offside traps really well. It's just a game-changing part when it comes to defending, to be honest guys. If you don't use this, it can be a game changer. It can give you the next rank in Weekend League, or maybe like improve yourself a lot. If you're trying to become a pro, you have to get these offside traps into your system. You perform offside trap by pressing your D-pad arrow down 2 times. What you see happening then is your defensive line will step up on the pitch, will make it harder for your opponent to reach your box, and that's what we want. And obviously you guys want to know in which situation to use it. One thing you need to keep in mind, don't use it when your opponent is facing the goal. Like when he's backwards you can do it, or when he plays a pass backward, that is the right time to do it. But once he's looking to the goal, don't do it, because it can cause a lot of problems. Because if you time it wrong, it is a big chance for your opponent instantly, and obviously that's not what we want. but I would really recommend to experiment with it. If you have any questions about offside traps, when to use it, how do I like run with the player I'm selecting when I do offside trap, I would say try to not be a defender. Like if you're a midfielder or a striker, it's alright, because your defensive line is gonna step up. The thing you will get if you perform an offside trap and you are still selecting a defender and you don't go forward as well, he will be the one who is getting the players of your opponent onside, and that's not what we want. Then we're jumping onto number 4 and the last topic, which is the lifeline. You don't want to use it when it's not needed, but this can help you so much in not conceding goals, is goalkeeper movement. There are 2 different ways you need to know. Right stick, so you need to press your right stick, then you can move it left, right, forward, back, whatever you want. And double triangle. The scenarios where you should use the right stick is on one-on-ones, in my opinion, set pieces, maybe sometimes long shots, but I would really recommend to use double triangle there. So you should probably use double triangle for like trivellas, which are not good anymore, finesses, which are back, especially with these cards having insane playstyles. A lot of players have the finesse plus, so you need to be aware of that. Then I should use the double triangle. Sometimes my opponent has a crazy chance, you think it's a goal, but just because of the goalkeeper movement, you help yourself from not conceding. And obviously that's big. It's also like quite a mental game, because when your opponent is going 1v1, you moving with your right stick. Is he going left, right? The thing I should always recommend is to move like a bit backwards and then to the right, left. Just go for it, because if you don't move it, he will score anyway. And then for the double triangle, it's the same. You perform it by clicking your triangle twice. Twice you need to click it. And the second time you click it, you need to hold it. As you can see, your goalkeeper goes for the cross or like for the far post every single time. But it's so quick, like it's incredible. If you guys have any more questions about the meta when it comes to defending, make sure to ask down below in the comments. And the last thing I want to ask you, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you haven't done that yet, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.